Hello, my YouTube fellas and gals. So today, and my Facebook people too, I decided to come on an off time. Normal because I wanted some company while I cut up ephemera. And it's going to take me a little while because I got some projects going on behind the scenes. So I've got to get this ephemera done because Wednesdays, my days are going to be taken up in December with something different. So the pictures that you guys missed, I believe, hey Mark, are these ones. I just fussy cutted these yesterday on Stacy's stream. I come out for some company. How are you doing today? Well, we were having a discussion in your stream, but I figured I'd bring it to mine, Mark. This is my thought process. I ran a chat room for 6 years on Yahoo. I've been on the web since 2001. You cannot think the drama is never going to rear its ugly head. That's not realistic thinking. It's going to happen. Whether you have a troll or you have a friend that doesn't like you, it's a part of life. Drama's in the dictionary for a reason. It's how you handle it that matters. Because honestly, if I think of someone who is in nothing but positivity and never has any downs in their life, I would question that. Because even Mother Teresa didn't have it that easy. I read her true book, and it was really interesting, even what she went through in her span of lifetime as a nun. So you're never going to have a fairyland of peachy keen. I always say Disney lied. There's no happily ever afters. So to me, it's how you handle it, and I am confrontational. So if somebody starts drama with me, I confront them because I want to know why they're acting the way they do, because people's behaviors just all over the place in this world today. That's why we have school shootings. That's why we have mental disorders. And some people can't handle like standing up to people when they come in. Like I had a troll come in. I don't know. I didn't go back and look at the Wednesday you were talking about, but I remember having a troll in recently. And I just told him like it was. I'm like, we don't deal with trolls in here, and I give everybody a second chance. The only time that I care that my mods block somebody is if it's like a derogatory name, like the N word. There's a few trolls that have that out there, and I don't like that, so people can block that away. But if somebody comes in and they're not really saying anything major, I time people out when I go to other people's streams. The only time I would ever block is if I felt that somebody has a racial slur. Other than that, I feel that the channel owner controls their stream. So, like, if somebody comes in here and calls me fat, which has happened, I just say, is that all you got to fat shame people? You don't have nothing better to do with your day? And go from there. You know what I mean? Like, I like to talk to the trolls. That's just me because I dealt with booters on Yahoo all the time. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? I had a guy come and tell me, you're too old to be on here. And you know what I told him? It was my age is why you're here. Bill Gates is older than me, dude. So, what do you say to that? People are going to say what they're going to say, and we can't control what they say. It's how we handle it. You know what I mean? That's how I look at life. And everybody's different. You run your channel your way. Gemma runs hers her way. Like, we all have our own way of running it. But I like to confront people first. That's just my nature. Hey, Maria. And it doesn't make like anybody bad. It's just, you know, it's just the way people are is we're all snowflakes. We're all different. Hey, sweet Gemma. Um, Me and my daughter just had this discussion. Um, how sometimes when people are raised in a small town, they have small town ways of thinking. But when you go out into the world, you find out that not everybody, how do I explain it? Like you might be raised with something that's totally wrong, but you don't know that until you get out and meet other people and then they give you other ways of handling situations. And you're thinking, wow, I never thought of that because all the people around me did it this way. You know what I mean? I tend to want to learn all the time. So in order to do that, I don't like small town thinking. I like branching my brain out to learn more. And that's what I think is amazing in some people, and some people they just don't. They think that everything they know is correct because they don't know any better. And it's the way the world is. But I'm always game to learn. That's me. I like learning stuff new all the time. I don't think we ever become a know-it-all, even though we know some people that think they are. I don't. I'm the type that I'll help you if it's an area that I know about. But if I don't, I will try to direct you to somebody who knows what they're talking about. Because I definitely never claim to know it all. That's just like in computers. I can format, I can take care of them. I know a whole bunch of stuff. I have a certificate in help desk. But if you ask me how to do C++, I'm like, nope. I'll direct you to a programmer, but I don't know anything about it except that it looks like code. But these are, see if I can get you closer. These here are little things that I have been cutting out of digital scrapbooking. These are the things that everybody missed from what I did the other night. I'm getting ready to start 2 Christmas journals, and I have a couple people that want to learn how to make journals. So I told them that I would start a new series. So Wednesday I did, but only today. I'm just working on the ephemera part. Sometimes I don't look, because it's Christmas, I can do the ephemera kind of ahead of time. But if it's a different type of journal, usually I look for the book or the cover I want to use first. And then I pick out some pages and then I pick out the ephemera. But since it's Christmas, I'm doing the ephemera first. So I'm like all over the place. I don't have one particular style of crafting. Like, some people, they pick out the cover first. Every crafter is different. We all pick out how we want to do it. Just like, I'm a left-hander, so I'm always backwards. And it is a fact. I am backwards a lot. And I had a teacher when I was in college. I took comp class. And I have a tendency of sometimes doing the thesis statement, doing the end, then coming back and doing the body. So I'm like all over the place when it comes to how I do stuff. I don't have one particular way. I guess it just depends on what style of journal I'm doing. Like everybody that was here on Wednesdays that saw me create my Paris journal. This is the Paris journal I created. I started first with the cover, and then I went along with the Paris theme. I actually had stuff that I had been to live sales that I had put aside as all kinds of, I think it was a whole pack of ephemera that someone else did a Paris book and she had leftovers. So I'd bought them off of her in a sale and I made 2 journals out of it. I made this one and I made this one, two totally different styles. But I had the covers picked out. Then I went for the pages. Then I decorated it. That's how I did these 2. So the Christmas ones are going to be a little different because I'm doing the ephemera first, which is weird. I don't know why my camera keeps wanting to go wonky. But anyways, hey, Sea Legs. I just met you the other day. Let me get your C in here. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad somebody gets their sea legs. My husband served in the Navy, and I actually got to go to the aircraft carrier and tour it, and it was awesome. But I probably would be seasick. Hey, crime time! I got so many channels to check out. I'm excited. I got some newbies to check out when I get the chance to. Now, a little later, a friend of mine sent me a message underneath my comment section. He's going to have a story. Let me see if I can pull his channel up for you. I think this is going to be fun. I told him I'm going to try to make it. It's going to be 8:00 p.m. tonight. I'm going to put his channel in here. This is Scully's House of Thrillers. And he's going to be doing some kind of storytime theater here at 8:00 on Jaws. So I'm going to give you his channel. He's a really nice guy. He does amazing overlays on his channel. Scully found me because I own a used bookstore, and he's actually an author. I own 2 of his books, but he does amazing overlays on his channel, and I really like him. He's a pinchy cheeks. That's what I call him. So anyways, if you're interested, you can join us later if you want to. And today I'm just cutting out ephemera. I'm trying to get my ephemera all cut out, and then I'll choose what I'm going to use for the 2 journals as I start creating them. And I'm just saying, if you're a lefty like me or you're a right-hander and you love to cussy cut, I don't call this fussy cutting, I call it cussy cutting. I have found as a left-hander that I hate regular scissor holes, because I feel like when you have a pair of scissors like this, they restrain you. I really love these Memory Keeper shears. And no, I'm not sponsored to talk about them. I just love them. I was in Marianne's sale on Happy Paper People, and I'm telling you what, she suggested these, and I thought, I'm going to try them, because I bought the Tim Holtz left-handed scissors, and I was not impressed. So when I got these, it's been a godsend. I can hit every teeny little corner when I'm over here cussy cutting. They're amazing scissors. There's no restraint to them whatsoever. And they are so easy to use, and I have been recommending these. They're great. Yes, Scully is. He is a very nice person. I like him. And he definitely has his own creative style as an author. He does, he does a lot of really cool stuff on his channel. He's like the Edgar Allan Poe. If you like spooky or fun, I don't know. Scully's hard to describe. Here, his channel, Gemma, How would you describe it? He kind of reminds me of a carnival. I don't know how else to describe him because he does so many things in his overlays that's so cool. He'll have like a skull and he'll have a kitten. And he just, his stuff is just so much fun. Usually I do my lives every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I decided to come on just for some company today because I like my YouTube buddies. And I follow a bunch of different style channels. I like gamers and crafters and makeup people, and I like definitely a variety. I like watching aquatic stuff, like under the ocean things and fish tanks when people put their fishies on there. I have, who I haven't visited for a while. I haven't visited Gay. I'm telling you what, even for people, whether you like snakes or not, you have got to one time just watch a video. Let me get her up here. I haven't seen her on for a while because I know she moved. But if you want to learn a new respect for people that own reptile animals, her channel is so amazing. I swear this woman should write stories on snakes. She is so good. I've never met somebody like her. She made me see snakes in a different way. Not that I like them, don't get me wrong. But her love and care, gotta love pythons, is Gay. She is just an awesome person. I made her a journal and I sent it to her. I think she's in Australia. But anyways, I sent her a journal and I told her, Once Upon a Time by Gotta Love Pythons is what I titled it. And I said, you have got to write your story because she's an amazing person. If anybody out there ever wants to own a snake or a reptile, she will teach you the proper care. She's amazing. But anyways, hey, Vin. I seen you sneak in here. She's so sweet. Aww. That's so sweet. Gemma, that's sweet. You want a Christmas theme one, Vin? Best thing I can tell you. Hey, Cherise. Is go to Etsy.com. Now, they do have a guest checkout, but I recommend that you sign up for it. It's free. It only takes a few minutes because sometimes the guest checkout can be a pain in the butt. But if you sign into Etsy, it's nice because you can also comment to the people you buy stuff off of. They have like a private messaging where you can ask questions. That's why I rather people sign in. You just go and you type in homemade junk journals, or you type in, Christmas, homemade junk journals or Christmas junk journals, and you watch what pops up. I window shop in Etsy all the time doing it, and it is amazing the things that you'll see. My Etsy's empty right now. I have 2. And yeah, I've been getting grief from Etsy because they keep telling me, they keep giving me tips on how to sell them. But I just haven't had time to put stuff in my store because you got to take pictures and you got to make a short video. Like, there's a lot of work to it. I just haven't done it. So mine's just sitting there collecting dust. I'll get it caught up at some point. Hey, Edith. Welcome. But you will find all kinds of stuff in. And what I do is I take in, where they have the little dots to show you, you can look at the price. I always look at the journals first and then look at the price just to see, because some of them can be very highly expensive depending on who you're getting them from. But you go through and you just look and scroll and you'll find a journal. But always look at the descriptions. Like, you want at least one, if do you want to get her a decorative journal or one that she can write in, or is it going to be a glue book? Those are things to take into consideration. If they're a journaler and they like to write, then you would want a lot with pages in it. And my recommendation would be anywhere from, they usually tell you how many pages, because figure, if you got 10 pages, you got 20 folded. So a lot of times they'll tell you how many. Then you want to look for ones with good pages in it with some decorations, because sometimes people decorate them and they look more crafty and there's not a lot of writing. So just go through. I don't have any Christmas journals made though. Sorry. And I don't know if mine are going to be for this year or next year. It depends on when I get them done. Hey, Viv. Texas Sparkle Boutique is Viv. She has sales on her channel. She does a variety of stuff. She does like jewelry, brooches, crafty stuff. You just never know what you're going to get when you go to Viv's sale. I like going to her sales and hanging out. Oh, that sounds delicious, Edith. Oh, yummy, yummy. My favorite meal is cube steak, mashed potatoes, gravy, and whole kernel corn. That's like my favorite meal of all time. And when I do my cube steak, I don't do homemade gravy anymore. I love it, but it's just so fattening with all that flour. So I buy the instant, and yeah, it's a little saltier, but it is what it is. I don't have high blood pressure, so I'm good. But I take and I buy either the Great Value or the McCormick that you get in the store, and it's like 2 cups of cold water with 2 packages of gravy. So I stir it in, throw some onions in a glass dish, the glass kind that's bigger than a brownie. This is one of my recipes. Always a glass dish. I'm telling you, people, glass dishes is where it's at. And I throw the cube steak in, put aluminum foil on it, and cook it for an hour. Of course, I turn it. You want to turn it like every half hour while you're cooking it. Cook it for an hour and a half on 350. It's done. It's amazing. And yeah, you can do instant mashed potatoes. You can do your regular potatoes. Doesn't matter. Another dish I like to do that way is steaks. If you like a well-done steak, now you medium rare people, you can sit in your corner. I'm serious. I'm just kidding. I don't like blood on anything. I don't even do it pink. I have to have it well done. But a lot of times people complain about the well done because it's dry. If you stick them in a glass dish and I put olive oil on the bottom and a little bit of steak sauce, my A1. I put those steaks in and I cook them in the oven like that. Same thing, 350 for about an hour and a half. They are the best steaks you will ever eat, and they're not overcooked. I'll share recipes because I love to cook, people. Hey, Angela. I have done cooking in the past. Then it was very interesting. Hey, Pitbull Mama. That's just goes to show if Mark's in here. That was a drama. I had a drama with one of my cookings. And I got to share a story with you guys about cooking. Just give me a second. I like sharing quirky stories because I think it's funny. It's not to bash anybody or anything like that. It's just things that we come across in the types of people that we meet. So I did a stuffing with turkey and stuff, and I even did my pies when I make them for Thanksgiving. And it was really funny because I did pumpkin pies. You'll never guess what I did, Ben. One of the stories is I left the sugar out of the freaking pie. You want to talk about nasty tasting, because I'm not used to doing videos when I cook, so my mind goes into a cooking zone. My daughter bit into that. She says, "Mom, there's no sugar." I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." I made 4 pumpkin pies that had no sugar. So I had to go and buy another can on a later day, and I remade them and took them, and oh gosh. But the other thing was, I had a vegan person. There was this vegan name running around, and they were terrible. Whenever people cooked meat, they were bashing people. Okay. So I was in somebody else's live stream that I mod for. And the same vegan person, they commented in my comment section, running me down because I cooked meat and how cruel I was to animals, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you know what? Don't even get me started. So I deleted first I replied, and I'm like, it's your choice what you eat. It's my choice what I eat. Don't come in my comment section running your chopper. So I deleted their stuff after they got my message. And then I was in a live stream and the same person came in. This was so funny. Oh, the girl who was on the stream, usually I don't open my mouth at somebody else's streams, but I just couldn't resist. I told her, I said, "Please don't get mad at me." She says, "I'm not mad at you." And I said, "That's okay," because this was after what I said. So she was saying what she was having for dinner, and this vegan person started running her mouth again because of meat. And I just get so tired of it. And I try to say things without cussing and be derogatory. I said, "Listen, do you walk out into woods seriously and look at a great big grizzly bear and tell them you can't eat that fish you just pulled out? Are you going to call that bear a murderer?" And I said, "And you don't think your plants aren't alive until you pluck them? Because I guarantee you, your plants, when they're in the ground, whether it's a flower or whatever it is, it's going to die because you done plucked it. So don't even start with me on vegans." They ended up leaving the stream. And the girl that read it, she says, "Oh my gosh, I never laughed so hard in my life with some of your comebacks." And I'm like, sometimes it's just how you handle drama. You can handle drama in a way that doesn't have to be mean, but that's how I feel. I'm sorry. I'm a steak and potato girl. That doesn't mean I don't like my veggies. I'll eat a salad just like the next person, but darn it, leave my meat alone. But just remember that whenever you have drama, you got to come back at people and do it in a funny way. Because that's what I do. I think it's hysterical. Hey, Randy. Oh my gosh, it is funny. Sometimes you just got to put it out there. Oh my goodness. But I'm all for analogies and irony because I think it's absolutely funny. And I have to take something back. I used to tell people on my channel, I'm not a gamer. And I never was until Corona hit. Oh my goodness, that's all I did was play games on my phone when I couldn't go anywhere. So I guess technically now I'm a gamer. I'm just a puzzle gamer. I don't shoot people up, but I like Tetras and Fish Dome and all the cool little kitty games that's out there. But I think it's funny because my husband teases me because he's the PlayStation, Xbox with the grandkids type of guy, and I don't get into it. I don't mind watching it, but it's not. I just can't get into shooting people. But it's too funny when they're all here. It's like a gamer's party, but I do like the gaming apps on my phone. Oh, I bet. Hey, Lorenzo. I bet then I have seen so much drama on gamers' channels that it's shocking. It's like, geez, people. And right now, I don't have time to put links in. Usually on Wednesday nights, I'll put your channels in for people, but you all can go check each other out. When you're blue, all you got to do is click on a person and go check out your channels, because I do believe in good networking with good people. But yeah, I've seen quite a few drama things happen on gaming channels, and it just blows my mind. It's like, okay, I'll stay a crafter. I like the peace over here. But anyways, my Sunny Fun Time Mails is a playlist that I have been working on to build up. My channel will be changing again eventually. I'm a variety channel and I like messing with YouTube's algorithm. So I'm trying to get some of my Sunny Fun Time Mails out of the way and stuff because I have a whole bunch yet to post. But you are all on my crafting journey with me, because when I started YouTube, I literally didn't know anything about junk journals, making journals. I only crocheted. I had a bag with about 3 skeins of thread and a hook rug hook from when I was a Girl Scout and 2 crochet hooks. That's all I owned. Come to YouTube, learn about the crafting community. I wasn't a scrapbooker. I did digital scrapbooking a long time ago. Everything's on the computer and hard drives, but not in my house. Come to YouTube with my bookstore, met the junk journal community, and all my Sunny Fun Time Mails, if they're not Christmas presents and stuff like that, they are the building of my craft room. So you all get to see what's in it. And there's nothing extra. So that's why I started doing the Sunny Fun Time Mails, so people could see how I build it and what I put in it. One of these days I will do a tour. I just not ready yet. I'm still to the point of gathering supplies and figuring out how I'm going to build my craft room to what it's going to look like and all that happy crap. And when I get to the point, I will do a tour video or a live tour, something like that. I'll figure it out later. But it's going to be a little while, because I'm not one of those crafters that's been collecting for 20 years and has 5 totes of fabrics. And some of my crafty friends tease me because they're all ahead of me. So that's what my Sunny Fun Time Mails are. And I even had somebody say to me, oh, and I do get stuff free too. I mean, some people send me happy mails too. But one of my friends said, man, you're high maintenance. That all you do is shop, shop, shop. And actually, the funny thing is, no, I am not a compulsive shopper. This is something that's been building, and some of my videos are a couple years old. They have been building for, well, you figure I started my YouTube channel in 2017. I was doing makeup reviews when I started. Then I got into my bookstore stuff once I got my store built up and stuff like that. And then my Sunny Fun Time Mails didn't happen until, I think it's been like maybe a year and a half or something like that when I actually started shopping. Something like that. But I want you all to go on my journey with me. So that's why I started the Sunny Fun Time Mails. So you all could see what it's like to start a hobby from beginning to the middle. I don't think it ever ends. But my suggestion is, I had a hard time with it at first, I will admit, because how can you explain it? You know, back in the day when I was growing up as a kid, you would go in the stores, and when they would get low on stock, they would just refill it with the same stuff. In today's day and age, how many of you have stood in front of a cough medicine section and be like, what? There's like aisles of it. When we were kids, we were lucky to have like 3 choices. And now it's like, oh my goodness, look at all the choices we have. And the same thing is with crafting. It's like they retire some of these lines of paper lines and paper pads. They retire them so fast that it's almost like they brainwashed us. You got to hurry up and buy it now or you're never going to get it. So if it's something that you really, really like, you want to get it right away. And that can hurt the pocket sometimes. It's easy for people to say, you know, start a project and only buy as you're working on it. But that doesn't always work, because there's been times I'd be working on something, I couldn't find anything, especially if it's out of season. Like, you know, if you're doing a fall journal and it's spring, that's all you see is spring paper lines. Like, you have to really search for stuff. So my thing is, when I started the Sunny Fun Time Mails, they're things I have built up to where I'll use them. Now, you'll hear some crafters say, if you don't use it within a year, then you're not going to use it. That's not true either. It depends on what it is. Because sometimes you just might not use it for a while. So I'm not going to get rid of something just because I haven't used it for a year. I will with a certain period if I know that it's not going to come up. But pretty much everything I buy, I'm very careful what I pick, so that I'll end it up with an extreme bunch of one thing or another. Because you don't want to be a hoarder either. Hey, Bethany! I agree, Lorenzo. Tetris is fun. Bethany is one busy mama. I like Bethany's videos. She's got this really calm, cute voice with these cute looks she has when she's doing unboxings and stuff. I love her videos. They're so cute. And Gemma, she educates a lot. I love her videos too, especially when she does her Elvis collection. But Gemma's very awesome the way she teaches the community about autism. So, got lots of good channels in here. Vin is friendly. He's a gaming channel. He'll talk to you when you come in. He's fun to pick on too. I like the people you can pick on and get away with it. Randy's a truck driver, so he's fun. He takes us out on the road. I am yet to see Crime Time. I have a few people in here I haven't seen. Pitbull shows her fur babies. They do cute stuff. And Edith, I have not seen. Sea Legs. There's a bunch of channels that come in here today I'm going to have to check out. And I will get to you. It just takes me a little bit of time, because you never know what's going on in the background. But anyways, with that, I will be right back. I'm going to go check on my dog real quick. So you all talk to each other. Give me a second and I will be back. Okie dokie. Sorry about that. She's getting older and she's got arthritis. My baby, my puppy Brony. And thank you, Maria. And she has a hard time sometimes during the day, so I have to help her out a little bit. She's starting to get old and it sucks. Our fur babies should just last longer. Thank you, Maria. So, Maria, did you see the other journal that I made? This is like the first steps of getting the ephemera ready, if that's how you prefer to do your journal, or you can pick out the style you want to do. When I do my Christmas journals this time, I'm going to do 2 different styles. So you can see a couple. But this is one of the journals I created, Maria. This is actually a Reader's Digest book that I had in my bookstore. Nobody bought it. And underneath the jackets, they have really pretty covers on some. They're not all solid. Reader's Digest, I'm telling you, some of their covers are amazing. Yes, you can put poems in your journal. You most certainly can. And so what I did was I ripped the pages out of the book. And you want the kind of a book they're not glued in the back. Let me see if I have an example near me. You would think all the books I have, I would. Okay, so for example, wait till you see this cover. It's roses. This is another Reader's Digest. Look at the covers on Reader's Digest. I'm telling you, people, when you Google them, you see them with the covers on, but you don't see what's underneath. And they're amazing. But anyways, the type of covers I'm talking about, see how that pulls away from the spine? That's the kind of covers that you want when you're tearing a book apart. And so you see what I mean? This is what I mean by tearing a book apart, people. Usually I wouldn't be doing it this time, but I'm going to show you. If you take a book, usually if they're old and falling apart, you can wiggle. Since this one's a new one, it's not going to be as easy. So you kind of like wing this one. And then you do the back. The same. See how that's splitting? Now you can take an X-Acto knife and cut down through this. This one's going to be a little harder to separate because it's newer. So what I do with this, the glue is what's holding it together. So you pull and you pull. And you try not to break the book, by the way. That's why you keep rocking it all the way around. At least this is how I do it. If you break the spine apart, you can still use it. It's just you got to do some extra steps. There you go. And it leaves you with this cover. Now what I do is I cut this part out. You can, if you want to, cut this part out. But see how flimsy the spine is? This is where your upcycling comes in. You can grab a cereal box, a frozen pizza box, and you measure and cut 2 pieces off of it, glue them together, and put them in here and measure it to your spine to make your spine sturdier because you're going to rebuild the book. So that's how you do that part. Now, once you get the book torn apart, it's going to look just like that cover, which is what this looked like. Then you pick your signatures. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4 signatures in it. I probably could have put 5, but I used 4. And what you do is Some of these have digitals. This is a digital. This is a regular store-bought paper. This is just out of a notebook. Store-bought printer paper, regular paper, and another. This I do. My preference is, since this is a digital and this was a digital, I copied the colors off on cardstock. So I have cardstock on the outside and cardstock in the middle of the signature. It kind of gives your pages stiffness for structure. And then I do the same thing. And all this are these pages folded in half. So if you have like 10 in your signature and you fold them, you're going to get 20 front and backs. So you got to figure out how many pages you want in your journal, how many signatures, and you go from there. This here is another digital on cardstock. And then this is paper. This is a lace pocket. This could be a curtain. It could be anything. This is actually folded from this page to the other page, the other side of this page. And I actually did it before I sewed the signatures into the book so that the pockets are never ending. They're actually sewed into the book. This here is my dyed paper. I use anything that I feel that can dye, like food coloring, coffee, RIT dye, anything you can imagine to dye. I use a, what do they call it? In my kitchen, I will run hot water. If it's a coffee dyed paper, I run coffee through as strong as I can and make a whole coffee pot. And then I have a electric skillet fryer, you know, the kind that's got the plug and you plug into the wall, it's up. I fill that up with coffee and I let it sit and cool. You don't want to do your papers when they're hot, but you don't want to do your papers when it's cold either. You wait till it's kind of like warm. And then I dip my papers in, put them on a coffee sheet with aluminum foil, and I bake them in the oven on 350 for about, well, anywhere from like maybe 250 to 350 for about 15 minutes. And it's cool. Now, another way you can dye paper, if you want the longer process, you can lay something out. Like say you have, you know, tables like that you take to a picnic or something. You can set those tables up and put plastic down on them like you're covering a plastic table. You can lay the coffee sheets out wet. And when you're out shopping, if you've ever seen doilies that are plastic, you know, the plastic type covers for your tables that look like lacy, those are perfect to lay down on wet coffee paper and let it all dry by air. And that's what gives the design of the laces and the doilies in your paper. I don't know why some of the crafters don't talk about this stuff, because it's like, oh, it's my secret, I don't want to share. And see, I like sharing these tips because I think it's great. I think, you know, I share all my secrets. I don't keep any when it comes to crafting. And when I do food coloring, I do it the same way, but I pick one color. And say like when I did the orange. Now, orange I don't have anymore because this paper was a little different because I used Crystal Light. I don't drink the crap because it's got aspartame in it. But it does make cute orange paper. And I can't find the orange. But what I did was I did the same thing. I run hot water through my coffee pot with just water. Put it in there, let it go, and put so many scoops and till it looks dark enough when I scoop it, and do the same thing. Food coloring, the same thing. I stick food coloring in the water and do a whole bunch of yellow paper, blue paper, whatever you can get in food coloring. but all of mine are baked. I've never laid mine out. And another thing that you can add to those pages besides doilies and lace is leaves. The perfect time to do your leaves would be now. In the fall, when you have all like those dead leaves laying in your yard, pick up a whole pile of them, put them on your coffee dyed paper or your pink dyed paper, whatever, laying on the table, and let it become an eco. And that's what they mean by eco print pages, because the leaves will make shapes on the papers as they're wet. Even grass blades do. It's very interesting what crafters do. And so this is the second signature. And I did the same thing in the center. And the signatures is when you sew the pages into the book, you want to use, they sell hem cord at Walmart. There is a wax cord you can buy. I'll tell you another thing you can use if you really want to be thrifty is a fishing pole line. Anything like that, or even embroidery floss. But you got to be really careful that when you pull it tight, you don't break it, because then you have to undo it and redo it. Believe me, I broke a lot of, because you're pulling it as tight as you can to get it in the book so it don't get loose. And then this is the other signature, and this is the other signature. Now, what I do with mine is I use an envelope, which I will show you in the coming days. If you continue to watch Maria, you'll learn it step by step. I use a great big business envelope. I'll have a ruler on top of it. I mark the center and the edges and mark them in pen. Then once I get the markings on the envelope, I compare it to inside of the book and then measure like how many signatures I want. Sometimes I can eyeball it and sometimes I measure. It just depends. But I measure, and then that's how they turn out, like even right here, because you want to go like a 1/2 inch from the top and a 1/2 inch in from the bottom too. So you got to pay attention where you sew. You can use a graph from the Dollar Tree in the back of the book to mark your holes, or you can even mark your holes with something as long as you can cover it later, because sometimes if you're off, you don't want to use like a black color. You want to use something that's not so dark to find your holes, because if you mess up, you're not able to cover it. I've done that too. Trial and error. And then once you sew them in, this is what it looks like. And then what I did was I took lace, and you can, if you own a sewing machine, you can sew this. I could see Viv doing that. I could see her breaking out her sewing machine and sewing down the page. You can use thread for each page before you put them in your book, because I decorate some before I put them in and then some after. Or you can use glue, which is what I used on this book. This is all lace I bought off of somebody's sale, and then I put it in here. And then what I did was I bought bulb pens. This is what a bulb pen looks like. I'll pull one off for you. Maybe. Hold on. Yeah, this is what a bulb pen looks like. It's like a safety pin, but it's in a bulb shape form. And you can get these in different colors. And then what you do is when you get charms, which this is a little butterfly, you hook it into the loop. This is why I like buying earrings. Like if you're in a crafty sale and you see earrings and stuff, you can take them apart and use the charms. And then I just hook it to the lace like so. And then there's your dangles. You can either put this on a bookshelf when you're done. That's how I store mine personally. I put different charms on it. Or if you want it to be a table topper and you want it to lay down, you can take your signatures and make them longer. You don't have to put them in here like I did, like how I trimmed them shorter. You can leave them lay below and add charms or beads on the bottom if you're going to use it as a table layer, and people can see a decoration down here too. Another thing you could do with your signatures, which I have done both of these, is you can leave both of them long enough where they hang to the back of the book, like your middle signature, and you could use it as a bookmark to the front and a bookmark to the back. There's so many things that you can do with these. So many styles. I love watching everybody else's styles too. That's why I said you really want to get a good idea of what your journals can look like. I covered the signatures because this is what signatures look like when you can see them. I covered it on this one. Some people have crisscrossed. They have braided. They have done some cool stuff. So I said, go to Etsy.com, type in homemade junk journals or junk journals, and just look. Just pick one out you like the cover and scroll. And some of the Etsy people will have like a little video to kind of do like a flip of what it looks like. And just look at some of the things people come up with. It's amazing. I was like, I bet you the first time I went to Etsy window shopping, I was lost for like 4 hours. Just scrolling. And I was like, oh my God, look at all this beautiful stuff. Some people on Etsy make the ephemera that goes in it. Some people make the journals. Some people make the digitals. There's so many things you can get into in Etsy that it's lovely. But these are the digitals I just bought recently to do these journals with. But I do got to dye more papers because my pile is getting very small. I have some of them in front of me. Alrighty, Maria. So I told Viv, if you want to learn, I will do it step by step and show you. I can't wait because I got a new YouTube channel that I'm going to be launching, and it's going to have a matching Facebook group page and an Etsy store. It's not quite where I want it to be yet. So that if anybody's crafting along and you have Facebook, you can come over and show what you've made. Whether you're making ephemera, you're crocheting, it's going to be for every type of art and not just junk journals, anything that you're into, pottery, whatever, and come share your work with people. Even if you just do it for a hobby and for gifts, or if you want to have a sale. I'm going to have a Facebook group page where you can post your links for your stuff that you're selling, stuff that you're making, just so that people can have a place to share their stuff. Because Facebook groups are really hard because sometimes you get into some and they only want to show their work for sale. They don't want to show everybody's. And then some Facebook pages you get in, like their rules are too strict. Or to me, I want to give the incentive for other crafters. I don't want it to be just my page. I want it to be everybody's page. And the problem is I always wanted a crafter just to create a page for everybody. So we had a place to come and meet, but it's like everybody wants to control the page. That's why they all want separate pages, because you can do this and you can't do this. And then there's another seller on here. She's like, oh, we support all of our our YouTube people when they're having sales. Just don't have them on my day. You can't post it. And I don't want that either. I want it to be whenever you have a sale, you can post it. I don't care if it's the same day as me. I don't, you know what I mean? Because you're always going to have clashes. But I do try to plan my sales around other people, and it's not because I'm greedy. It's because I want to be at your sale. That's the reason why I usually don't like it when people have sales the same day as me, because I'm a nib nose. I want to come and shop your sale, so I don't like having sales at the same time when I want to shop at somebody else's. It's kind of like we have our community yard sale here. I hate it because everybody's having a sale the same day and I can't go nib. So me and my daughter, what we do is every other year we would skip having a sale so we could go nib to see what everybody else had. Because one year during our community yard sale, when I started building my craft room, it's really hard to find crafting supplies when you have a community yard sale here. It's always the same stuff, like kids' clothes and toys. And I mean, it's really hard to find crafting stuff. And one time, some lady come and told me that some other lady had a huge crafting D-stash. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. And I was in the middle of having my sale and I missed the whole thing. So I didn't get anything. And that was depressing. I guess she had a whole bunch of inking stamps and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I was so jealous. I was like, that's just wrong. But I couldn't leave my sale because I had customers too, and it was awful. So that's why I like to plan sales that I had when nobody else was having one. Just for the simple fact, I do that because I want to, because I want to see what other people are having. But sometimes people might not know you're having a sale on some day, and well, that can't be helped. But at least if we had a group page, we would know when people were having sales. So then you wouldn't be able to do it the same day so you could visit. That's what I was looking for. But it's really hard to find a bunch of crafters on the same page. So that's one of the reasons why I want to create this Facebook page. So if there's something going on your channel, you can let people know. You have a journal or you have something in your Etsy, a necklace, whatever, and you want to sell it, well, you can share the link and people can come buy from you. We can get a group place going that's nice. A good one. Daria, yes, I come on early tonight. This is an off day for me. I'm usually not on here at this time or day. But I thought, I wanted to have some company while I cut up my ephemera for the journals I'm going to be working on. So I decided to come on here and cut in front of you people all my good ephemera stuff, because I got so much for Christmas that I was afraid I wouldn't have it done in time, because I only have like 4 Wednesdays every month. And I got to have these Christmas journals done within my lives. So my first Wednesday live this month was this ephemera cutting it. And I don't edit because I want people to see how long of a process it takes. I don't want to gyp people from all the details. And the month of December, I want you all to know that is my military dedication month for as long as I can do it. And every Wednesday, instead of crafting in the month of December, you will be getting a live reading of World War II letters. And yes, I have enough to last for the few hours I'm on. So I read so many of them And then that's my stream. And so, the people who are new that haven't heard them, my Sassy Sandy knows what I'm talking about. And the people who came last year, it's the same couple. Their name is Elsie and William. I have letters when they dated, and I have letters when they got married. And it is a whole slew from this couple. And they had a male friend serving in the military and another female in the military who was another couple, and some of their letters are in it. I won. It's sad because it wasn't one whole lot. I wished it would have been. But I won part of a lot in an online auction from a locker. People who buy lockers and resell items. I got the first lot, have them all. So they separated them into different lots, and I bought them all. And all I have to say is the best letters I have ever seen. They are amazing. I'm in love with this couple. I did try to search more about them, but I couldn't find any information. There was another couple that had their names, but it's not the age didn't work for because they're World War II. But the way they talk, and the most amazing thing about these letters is it's from the man's side to her. I wish I had her copies to go with them. It would be amazing. But are you guys getting buffering? We're having a storm, so I just got a little bit of a warning. But it is, Daria. It truly is. They're fabulous. And the more I read about what he says to her,